Hi everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on how to double your impact with CDS Victoria through Visi for Landcare groups. And my name is Anna Pimenta and I am the Landcare Development Coordinator with Landcare Victoria. I want to start to acknowledge the important work that Landcare volunteers do for the environment, for the passion and dedication. It's always commendable. Hopefully after today's webinar, you can adopt some of the ideas on how to get the most out of this scheme and how to participate in the dollar matching competition. I would like to start the webinar by paying my respects to the traditional owners and custodians of the lands on which we are meeting. Landcare Victoria recognises the ongoing role of traditional owners in caring for land, water and wildlife, and acknowledge the deep connections that Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders peoples have to the country. And I would like to personally acknowledge the Gunai Kunai peoples as traditional custodians of the country I am working on today here in Gippsland. And I pay my respect to the elders past and present. Just a little bit of housekeeping. So first of all, don't feel like you need to write anything. This session is going to be recorded and the presentation slides will be made available to everyone that is registered. The microphones are muted, but please feel free to unmute if you want to ask any question. And so if something does go unanswered or if something comes up later, please feel free to reach out to any of us. And tonight we have Pretty Bandari from the Victorian Container Deposit Scheme. We have partnered with the Victorian Container Deposit Scheme to deliver these webinars, and Pretty will be leading the presentations. We also have a case study with Simon. Pretty will explain everything later. And this is it for me, and I'll head over to Pretty.
Thank you, and I'm just gonna share my screen before I get into it. Oh, amazing. Hi, everyone. As Anna mentioned before, my name is Preeti and I'm from Victoria's Container Deposit Scheme. Really delighted to be here to have the chance to talk about our partnership with Landcare Victoria, but also take some time to talk about the impact of Victoria's Container Deposit Scheme. Very excited to talk about our newest campaign launch, which is the dollar match competition. I'm really conscious of the time that we have here today, so I'm making sure that all the information that will be shared on the dollar match competition is the need to know information that groups are required to know to participate in the competition. A huge part of the dollar match competition is successfully fundraising with the scheme. So we have invited our partners, Lava Streets and Beach Patrol, to talk about their experience with the scheme, what has worked for them, what has not worked for them, and just the impact of participating in the scheme that they've had so far. A couple of tips and tricks to boost your current fundraising efforts. We really want to make sure that groups who are participating in the competition are well supported. So I'm going to be taking some time to talk about what collection support is available and available resources. It's a really small group here today, so if you do have questions, please feel free to pop them on the chat, or very, very happy to take them towards the end or save them for email as well. Please feel free to reach out to either Anna or myself with any questions that you have on the dollar match competition or just how you can participate in the scheme in general. Most of us, just by virtue of being environmental groups, are aware of Victoria's Container Deposit Scheme. But just to recap, Victoria's Container Deposit Scheme is a recycling program that primarily seeks to reduce litter and improve recycling outcomes. It does that by offering a 10-cent refund for every eligible can, carton, and bottle returned. What you may not know is that the scheme does have a target, and the target is diverting at least 80% of material that can be recycled away from landfill by 2030. As Victorians, it's no surprise we do consume a lot of drinks, but the figure that is consumed annually is quite massive. It's over 3 billion drink containers that are consumed, 3 billion drinks that are consumed annually by Victorians. And I suppose the groups that are part of Landcare know this the most, that what is not recycled ends up polluting our lands, our oceans, harms the environment that we love. We're really, really proud of the impact that the scheme has had so far. In saying that, it's only been just under 2 years that the scheme has been up and running. And in just under 2 years, we've already seen nearly 1.9 billion drink containers returned through the program, which is a huge win for the program. That's nearly $190 million that's been pocketed by Victorians as part of the refunds provided. Now, you may know that Victorians have the opportunity to either pocket the refunds, but what we're seeing coming really strongly through the program is a lot of community organizations and environment groups really seizing on the opportunity to fundraise with the scheme, including many Victorian land care groups and networks. So just think about the participation of Victorian land care groups and networks. This has also been really impressive, again, keeping in mind that the scheme has been up and running for less than 2 years. Check the stats just earlier this week, and we have over 24 land care groups and networks that have participated in the scheme, impressively raising over $15,000. That is 150,000 drink containers have been returned through the program. Which brings me to why we have partnered with Landcare Victoria. As I mentioned before, number one, our main priority is to see a reduction in litter, seeing that scores of land care groups and networks are actively embedding CDS Vic in their litter reduction initiatives. That's been a win for us. Number two, it's been a source of important funds. As I mentioned before, a lot of community organizations and environment groups have seized on the opportunity to see the scheme as an avenue through which they can fundraise. Very importantly, funds that have been raised through the scheme have helped organizations such as yourself to pay for costs that have typically not been covered through grants. Number three, it's inspired the community to recycle. Not all groups or not all Victorians may have the same level of access to return drink containers through refund points, but they do still believe in recycling and doing the right thing. Where refund points have not been accessible, it's the environment groups who have really championed the participation through the scheme, in that they've said, hey, if you are not able to find a refund point close to you, that's fine. Donate your drink containers to us. And that's where we've seen real value in terms of having participation from land care groups and networks. They've championed the scheme. They've encouraged individuals to donate to their groups. Which brings me, very excitingly, to the dollar match competition. What is the dollar match competition? Dollar match competition is one where Victoria's Container Deposit Scheme, that's us, will dollar match the first 5 groups to raise $1,000 through the scheme. $1,000 is 10,000 drink containers. Who is eligible to participate in the scheme? 3 things to remember. Number one, you must be operating in Victoria, which I'm sure most of you are. Number two, you must be financial members of Landcare Victoria as well. Number three, and this is extremely important, you must be signed up with the scheme as a donation partner. That is, you have received your donation partner ID. Not only do you need to have received your donation partner ID, but you also need to be signed up with at least one of the 3 zone operators. So if you are in the West zone, that zone operator would be Tomra Cleanaway. If you're in the North zone, that would be Visi. If you are in the East zone, that would be Return It. When does the competition start? The competition started on Monday this week, that is 2nd of June, and will finish on the 31st of October. Worth noting that the competition is based on a first come, first served basis. So if there are first 5 groups who are able to reach the minimum target, which is $1,000 or 10,000 drink containers before the competition ends, those groups will be eligible for receiving the competition prize. How are groups able to participate in the competition? We've tried to keep this really, really simple. The only thing that we are asking is, number one, present a minimum of 10,000 drink containers or raise $1,000 within the competition period. But what's going to be really crucial in order for groups to receive the prize, that is, have their dollar matched, is making sure that every container that is returned is recorded against your group's donation partner ID. This is going to be really important because this is how we're going to be measuring if your group is eligible for participating in the competition, but also making sure that that's been raised within the competition period. So you might wonder, I've already raised $1,000. Am I eligible to claim that dollar matched? No, that's not part of the competition. It's really important for you to make sure that the amount that has been fundraised has been within the competition period. So how can your group have your dollar match? Just recapping what I've mentioned in my previous slide, you are a member of Landcare Victoria, you have a donation partner ID with CDS Vic, and you have activated your donation partner ID with at least one of those donation partner. That's great, that's a check. Number two, you have raised $1,000 or have returned at least 10,000 drink containers within the competition period, and it's been recorded against your donation partner ID. That's great. That's the second tick box. Number three, you have your proof of transactions, which is photos of refund point receipts or screenshots from CDS Vic app. If you have these three things, all you need to do is submit an online application form. We will be circulating the link to this deck or the links to the application form as well. But essentially what we're seeking in the application form is just what I've summarized on the left-hand side. It's your proof of transactions. It's just making sure that those transactions have been completed between 2nd of June and 30th of October, and that you're a member of Landcare Victoria and a registered donation partner with CDS Vic. We've tried to keep it really simple and easy. We've done the application forms ourselves. It takes less than 5 minutes for you to fill that bits of information, just making sure that you have what you need on hand. As I mentioned before in the start of my presentation, that just making sure that this is the bare bones, that is the need to know information for the dollar match competition. If you are seeking more information on how you can participate in the competition, we do have information available on the Landcare Victoria website and the CDS Vic website. A huge part of the dollar match competition, as I mentioned before, is how exactly your group can go about your fundraising effort. I know it's not easy. A lot of groups are still finding their feeting in terms of how they can fundraise with the scheme and what is the approach that works best for them. This is why we have invited our partners, Beach Patrol and Love Our Streets, to just take some time to talk about what is it that has worked for them and what is the approach that they have taken, and just some tips on how you could be going about your fundraising journey. So I'm going to be handing it off to Simon from Beach Patrol.
Super. Thank you, Preeti. And hi, everyone. Thank you for having us along. Really happy to be partnering up on this really exciting initiative. It's excellent. So Beach Patrol, Love Our Street, we are a Victorian-based network of community cleanup groups. So we've been around since about 2009 and primarily around the Bay. So from probably Williamstown around to sort of the Mornington Peninsula, around that area. But our furthest group to the west is in Warrnambool. So we do cover quite a large area. So about 50 groups. And we are inland as well. So Love Our Street, inland groups, Beach Patrol along the coast. We have around 9,000 odd volunteers who come out and every month and help to clean up our beaches and open spaces. Our focus is on plastic pollution. So for many, many years, we've been advocating for the CDS for a decade prior to the CDS starting, and a really big focus on the impact of plastic pollution. So it's really great to see that the CDS is having a massive impact on the number of containers being recycled. To that note, in 2024, we cleared 24 tons of waste from our beaches and open spaces and around 33,000 cans of bottles and containers. So a pretty big impact. All of that gets captured in an app. We have an app called Litter Stopper, where all of our groups and anybody can download the app and record the litter that they're picking up. So we have really great data, and we can share that with the Victorian government on an ongoing basis to help with litter and waste management policy. So we've been very excited with the CDS since it joined and before. And obviously what we do is we pick up rubbish, we pick up cans and bottles. So one of the primary sources of our CDS deposits and refunds is through our cleanups. So we do that every month around the Bay, like I said. But my day job and my career has been in relationship management in financial services, but bring that to my job here at Beach Patrol. So we've built a really great relationship with Vic Return and with our local zone operator and with our local depot. So in the middle there's a picture of Aaron from the Cheltenham depot, and we've got to know him really well and the team up there. So we direct all of our sort of Bayside area deposits into that depot, but then around the rest of the network, we try and partner up with those either RVMs or mainly depots, because we have such big volumes. So building that relationship is key. In the bottom there, we've got a picture of a lovely resident here in Sandringham. Through our local group, so I run the Sandringham group, through this group, we've just built those relationships through our volunteering, but then also in using Facebook groups, using the local community to get the message out there. So this group of residents in an apartment block collect up their cans and bottles for us every month, and I go along, pick them up and take them to be deposited. So it's not convenient for everyone to do that, I'm sure, but it works really well for me and for us to get that done. And then on the far right, this is where we partner up with Vic Return itself. So we've worked with Preeti really recently to run a cleanup in the Docklands, and we've helped to try and get the new RVM there up and running by running a cleanup to activate a new group there, and again build that relationship. So all the way through this process, it's all been about relationships, and that's what I would just take away from this is whether it's with your local communities, with your depot, or with the zone operators, etc., to try and build that relationship. And clearly you've done that pretty successfully by having this event. We can go on to the next slide, Preeti. So this is our data. So this is CDS East data. They've got a really great app, and we can download lots of information. So we've successfully raised about $6,000 worth in the East region, slightly less in the other regions in North and West, because our groups are primarily in the East. So that $6,000 since 2023, yeah, that pays annually for our insurance. It helps to support our website, all those overheads that you'll be very, very familiar with that you can't always get through grants, as Preeti said. So we'll continue to track the data, because that then helps us figure out which depots are going well, which areas can we sort of spruik a bit more. So again, if you're into data, I recommend using that, depending which zone operator you're in and the availability of that. So yeah, I think that's probably all I was going to say, but happy to take any questions, or if you want to head to our website and have a look, you'll be very, very welcome.
Thank you, Simon. I guess a key thing that we have noticed, and like I said before, the dollar match competition is all about rewarding the participation of land care groups who are participating in the scheme, primarily from a fundraising perspective. And like I said before, not everybody's fundraising journey would look the same. Simon was talking about building relationships being key to their fundraising journey, and that's true for most groups who are fundraising with the scheme. So you might choose to become a container collector. You might choose to become a container collector in that you could go out to your community, have a call to action that says, hey, a refund point is not close to you, but I'm going to be volunteering my time every Sunday or so to go out to the community, seek those containers. That's really going to be key in terms of relationship building perspective, yes. But you could also choose to partner with local businesses, cafes, and pubs. We are seeing groups do that, particularly if you don't have space to save your containers. Partner of ours, Friends of Mary Creek, had partnered with their local apartment buildings where they had bins set up in the apartment building. Every Sunday or so, their fundraising champion, Monica, goes to the apartment building, takes the bins which have been collected throughout the week. Containers have been collected in that bin throughout the week, and she takes it to a depot every week. They have seen a steady source of income through that fundraising model as well. Or if you don't have the capacity to either do one or two, you could just encourage your your supporters to donate their refunds to you at a refund point. You might not have the capacity to do container collections, that's fine. You might not have the capacity to partner with local businesses, that's fine. But what you could choose to do is just engage your supporters to donate their refunds when they go to refund points themselves to your organization, which has also seen moderate levels of success. Now, where to from here? In all the fundraising models that we have seen, and in all the groups who are participating with the scheme, there's one thing that stands out really strongly, and it's that they have had a champion in their organization who has really led what their CDS Vic fundraising journey looks like. They've had a Simon in their organization, they've had a Monica in their organization who's really championed the benefits of not only participating in the scheme, but really sustaining their organization's journey through the scheme. Just having one social media post is obviously not going to be cutting it, but it's really about sustaining that momentum throughout your journey, throughout your fundraising journey. And you might not have your fundraising journey started, that's fine, which is why we have a fundraising guide, which really charts out as to what your A to Z of fundraising with the scheme could look like. And that's beginning from signing up as a donation partner to finding what model works best for you. We do have a fundraising guide available. We will be circulating the link to that fundraising guide as well after the webinar. Finally, very, very exclusive for particularly land care groups and networks. If you do need collection support, particularly if you're looking to participate in the competition, please do send me an email. Worth noting that this collection support is not available for everyone who signed up with the scheme. So would really encourage land care groups and networks to take advantage of the partnership and look for collection support, particularly if you're taking part in the competition. We can provide eligible groups with collection bags. And as I mentioned before, the key to being successfully fundraising with the scheme is consistency, right? So make sure that you're collecting, make sure that you're repeating, and make sure that you're returning through the scheme consistently. And that's really going to be crucial to making sure that you have reached your minimum goal. There are heaps of resources available on our website. You don't have to start from the scratch on this. We have social media tiles, we have posters, we have donation progress trackers, all sorts of things that are available to help you kickstart your fundraising journey. We're going to be circulating the links to these as well. And just what I was saying before, if you do need any collection support, please feel free to reach out to me for more information on how you can get involved with the partnership and the dollar match competition. Please feel free to give Anna a call. There's also some information on how you can connect with your local zone operator, to what Simon was saying before. This is going to be crucial to help you boost your fundraising journey. Building relationships is crucial to help you boost your fundraising journey. So that's just some information that you can look up on the CDS Vic website or the zone operator website. That's just it from me. So I'm going to stop sharing and see if we have any questions.
Thanks, Preeti. Yeah, and just a bit of a summary of what happened yesterday, just add on to this webinar, is that we, for example, had the Miriam from Friends of Mount Worth State Park, and they are a very small group, and they chose to just do a very simple business card with a donor ID code and just share in the community, so people, when they go and donate their containers, they could just use their ID, and that worked really well for them. They raised $1,600 in 1 year, on just a little bit over 1 year, and that means that if you are a small group and you are a member of Landcare Victoria, if you're collecting around 330 containers a month or $33, that will be enough to pay for your membership and insurance. So that's quite a big thing. And that, yeah, might mean that keeps your group alive. Linda, I'm not sure if you have any questions in particular. No? And also,
I would love to know, actually, are you part of a particular land care group, or do you oversee a couple of land care groups?
I mainly have friends groups in my, I'm a land care facilitator, and it's mostly friends groups. So I thought I better come so I have the information if anyone asks. But we just became CDS partners ourselves, our organisation. So Yeah, so we might give it a go.
Sounds
Our
great.
first donation was a big one, but there hasn't been much since then. So yeah, we're trying to
Raising
spread the
awareness.
word.
And I thought another great thing that came out of yesterday's webinar's question was that, you know, the depots, as we've been talking about, this is my understanding, that places where you can actually collect the containers in a lot rather than individually. And I thought that was a really great, easy way of, you know, just dumping your containers in, you know, very quick and efficient way. So very handy for groups, I thought.
Particularly given that you're just starting your fundraising journey, just might be worth noting that a lot of organizations who are fundraising with the scheme, like as Anna and Simon were mentioning, prefer to take their collected containers to a depot as opposed to a reverse vending machine. When you're at a reverse vending machine, you probably have to wait there all day with your 100 containers because it only takes one drink container in at a time. So a depot, on the other hand, would just count your drink containers within seconds, and that's far more convenient, as opposed to some schools who have been really liking to go to the reverse vending machine because children have the time of their lives returning drink containers at reverse vending machines. They would stand there all day doing that.
Like kids do.
Not so ideal for groups who are time poor already to begin with.
No, and just flagging that there are actually not many groups registered. Landcare, so members of Landcare Victoria have registered as a donation partner. So this means that this competition is quite an easy one to get into, to grab your matching, you know, your $1,000 that you can use for anything. So I think that everyone should get stuck into it and grab this opportunity until, yeah, it's open until the end of October. So yeah, get everyone involved and get the most out of it.
Please feel free to reach out to us, Linda, if there's anything that we could do to support your fundraising journey. Like, very, very happy to discuss any collection support that you might need. Like I was saying before, it's not something that is accessible for all of CDS Vic's donation partner. We are really mindful in terms of making sure that the partnership is well supported. So if there are things that we could help you with, particularly from a collection support perspective, or just more connecting you with groups who are really doing well in terms of fundraising, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect.
And I think this is a wrap. Thanks for coming, Linda, and special thanks to Pretty and to Simon for donating your time, sharing your experience with us. I know, Simon, you guys are not a member of LVI, but you're doing the same type of work that we do. So appreciate all your work, the work you do for the environment as well.
Yeah,
all right.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
No, thanks,
Thank
Simon.
you.
Thanks, Pretty.
Thanks, Simon.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you. Bye.
See you. Bye. Bye.